almost 40 acres in the organic corn. This is the second truckload. You can do the math on how well that's yielded. But you can see we got a little bit of a equipment change up over here. We got our loadout auger set up going in. That's why we're using this truck. And yeah, our good swing out auger had a gearbox go out, waiting on the part. So we're not gonna have very much corn to get up in there. So this auger will do just fine for that. This one's actually 2-inch diameter bigger, but 10 foot shorter. So this one's a 10-inch, 50 foot. The other one's an 8-inch, 60 foot. This one's electric though. Running it a little easy, not overflowing it too much because the corn's coming in at about 25%. And then I have the fan running on the bin right now. I just started it a little bit ago. There was a load in there from the semi before the auger went past. The semi still got about half a hopper in the back, but we can't unload that until we have that other auger fixed because we don't have a way to unload into this one. I have been following almost right behind Dad with the drill, getting the drill completely empty of rye. So far I've done 15 acres, or 12 acres, something like that. And I'm almost done. I only have about 5 to 10 acres more of seed, and then I'll be completely done with that. And then I'll have to find something else to do while I wait for Dad to fill the truck, because it took quite a while. I planted all that 12 acres, and Dad shelled probably 8 of those acres in the time it took to get this truck. This is what farming in the 21st century looks like. Gotta wait for my satellites to line up and then I can start. Dad's still shelling out here. This field's 40 acres, but he's over halfway done already. There was only like maybe 2, 3, no, probably 2 acres done when he started. And we got 1 truck and 1 dump in that truck now, so. Got it seeded to rye to about, oh wow, you guys, right there, right where those corn stalks aren't laying flat anymore. And this field is really wet. As soon as you cross this lane, I'm cutting in, so I gotta do a fancy turnaround now so that I don't go into that field. Because I was trying to make it to where we could keep all this no-till next year, but I'm gonna have to come in with the disc next spring and fill in some ruts there. But oh well, nothing I can do about it now. Truck's full again. Dad just took off down the road with the combine. I have no idea what he's doing, but we'll get this unloaded and then check in and see what's up. I've probably got 2 acres worth of rye left in the drill, so I'll be done on the next truckload for sure. I was able to do 5 or 6 acres that time around. And now the truck is empty. Dad was almost out of fuel. That's what his problem was, and our fuel supplier hasn't come and delivered us more yet to the farm. So he was throwing the portable fuel tank in the back of the truck, going down to the gas station down the road here and filling up. And then he'll be back at the field shortly. So I'll probably be able to get this rye done before he is back in the field. And then I'll get started on some projects here around the farm that I'll show you that need to be done. I'm hoping I can get this seed drain out before these closing wheels start falling off of this drill. I have a few that are very wobbly at the moment. Bearings are starting to go out, so that's just the way it is. This drill it goes through bearings with those closing wheels. I got a few depth gauge arms that are bent. I think I got some opener bearings going out. I have to measure the openers, see if they need to be replaced. But overall, this drill has not covered a whole lot of acres since it's been ran through the shop. Last time it was ran through the shop, went through top to bottom, so it should be able to live for quite a while, but it ran over 35-ish acres of cover crop after wheat, and then it drilled 65 acres of wheat, and I've done about 100 acres of rye, so it has covered some acres this year, and I guess it is due for another shop project. I have to kind of eyeball this pass because I don't know if you know, some of you don't know how this works, but WAS is the signal we're running for our GPS in this tractor, and if over a period of time your line is going to move across the field because you're relying on satellites, there's nothing grounding that line to a specific point, so as those satellites move across the sky, your guidance line moves very slowly. I mean very, very slowly. But in the time it takes for me to go unload the truck, the guidance line moves about 8 inches to a foot, so I can't follow my screen because it's not exact right now, but as soon as I make a pass down, then the line will be precise on my way back. It's not usually a problem if I'm just sitting in a field all day long, but when I'm chopping my tasks up and going and doing the truck and stuff like that, it does kind of get repetitive then.
So our listeners are going to be more familiar with the successful farming brand than they are of the corporate Dash Meredith.
I'm not empty. Well, shoot. I could have sworn there was enough to go. Huh. Looks like we're gonna go some more. But you can see these nice, they're made out of styrofoam. They're hoppers, and they funnel everything right down to your seed cups in there. So with this field, what we're gonna have is we're gonna have a side-by-side comparison with rye cover crop and then no rye cover crop, both no-till. And what I am predicting is that this side of the field will need a spring burn down before planting. This side of the field will make it up to planting, and then at some point, either the day of planting or a week after, the side with the rye will get hit with a quarter Roundup, and then after that, there might be one more post pass, but that will be all the herbicide applied on that side, whereas this side will probably get a spring burn down, which is Roundup 2,4-D, and then it will get probably Roundup and Enlist later season, or it could even get Tendovo pre-emerge right after planting, and then another post pass later. Either way, it's going to have a lot more herbicide come behind it than this side, which will probably total below $20 an acre herbicide wise next year, whereas that side will be pushing $30 to $40. Now, you're not gonna save money just with the herbicide with the rye, because the rye costs about $10 an acre to put in. Just with the seed fuel, you're probably talking about pretty much the same as a burn down, but you are getting biology in the soil with the rye here. You're putting roots down into the soil, keeping that soil porous and drainable, and then also it will help get on the field sooner next year, because the rye will suck up moisture in the spring and the field will dry out faster than the other side. Which, as we figured out this year, earlier planted beans have a very direct correlation with higher yields. So we're going to try and get our beans in early again next year, and the rye should help us do that. The drill's unhooked and the 4960's tucked away in the corner. That tractor will be That tractor will be coming back out probably the end of January. It needs a steering pump and a computer for the 3-point hitch. And I think that's it. Pretty easy one this year. Just got back from lunch. Dad's running again. Yeah, filling the truck. I'm gonna get this grain cart started up and head over there. And then that way I can work on some stuff up here and I don't have to be right back there immediately. I was making it on time. He wasn't full by the time I had the truck empty, but I got some stuff I want to get done up here, and that way I'm not just sitting scrolling YouTube shorts out in the field. The parts came in for this auger. I got all the gears and the bearings necessary to rebuild the gearbox. Dad's running the last organic field, which is right here behind the farm. And it's the only one that really is yielding much of anything. So he's running that. Looks like he's almost got a full truck, so I'll have to go out there and unload the cart here in a little bit. But right now, I can continue working on this. So I'm running through this shaft right now. New bearing, gear, and then there will be another bearing here. And then I can put it into the gear case. And there's also a bearing with a locking collar that goes out here, but that doesn't go on until it's mounted back up on the auger. And then we have a short spline shaft that gets a gear, a bearing, and then another bearing right here. So this is with the new bearing and the new gear on. We got to bring this snap ring down and snap it on, and then a second snap ring right here, and then there is a washer or shim that goes on, and then the second bearing. And I am packing these bearings, but I am planning on running 80/90 in the gear case itself. So just for anybody wondering, I don't know if that's a proper way to do it. This is my first gearbox rebuild, and as you can see, I am all on my own for this. So I'm gonna hopefully get it done. We do need this auger because the semi has some corn left in it, but we can't get it out without that swing away. So there's that shaft. Just put that bearing on, slid the shaft in, seals all nice and tight. So now we have to put this cap on, which is this. But first we have to replace the race. And there's also, I don't know what they called it, a cap in here that doesn't have to be replaced, but the new one's here. This is not a guaranteed fit though, so I am not going to pull that one out unless I absolutely have to, if it gets damaged here in the next step. Because the AGCO dealer that I got this stuff from said I need to run a little bead weld on the race around in about 4 different places, then let it cool down, and they said this race will pull right out. At least that's what they said, and I suppose I could do it wrong. We'll see how this goes. I'll just pop these off camera. There's a race on this side, and there was a race on that side, but that side's already out. And then this seal goes on right there. This is the seal that came off, and this is the bearing that went out originally. And when this bearing went out, this shaft got side-to-side play, and so that gear separated enough from the other one, and it bound up and chipped a bunch of teeth. That's what happened with this thing originally. So always check your seals on your gearboxes, because, well, I don't know, I can't remember. I look at the gearboxes every year before we start, but I couldn't tell you if the seal was seated in or not when I went to start. On the part of that spindle that is on the outside. Before that race goes in, there was this thing in there. Not exactly sure what it does really, but I'm gonna put it back in just in case it serves a purpose. Race number 1, race number 2 with the weird washer thingy. Again, no idea what that does. First I thought it was to hold the oil back out of this bearing, but again, this one has a seal, so I'm really not sure why they would have that like that. But all we gotta do is drop this on like so. Just like that. And then we take our second bearing, bang, and down we go on top. This one is identical to a wheel bearing, so pretty easy, self-explanatory. And then this one gets a washer and a snap ring. And there we are. Seals installed. All good. Just got done unloading another truck. Got about 5 acres left, and then 2023 harvest is in the books. I just will have to dry the corn and then haul the corn and then haul the rest of the corn come January, February. We are almost done with it, guys. Got a few bolts to put in. We'll snug this cap down, put the other shaft in. Shoot. Okay, well, this one I put the gear on backwards, but it looks like I can take the snap ring off on the back here and pull it off the bottom, flip it around, it'll be alright. But we'll finish putting this bottom one in. Whoopsies! Wouldn't be a project if you didn't mess one thing up anyway. Things have taken a turn for the worse. We are back to square one. But I'll see you guys shortly, because it will be put together right here in about a split second. Good news! We're back. Got it in. Just realized I forgot to put the seal back in. I will be... Let me just run over here and grab that. This may say snowplow oil, but it's not. Don't worry, I just filled it up with 89. I'm going to turn this on its side just so that I don't have any problems here in the beginning. Let me just start. I'm going to let a little bit run out and then cap it. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, and there we are. It is done. Ready to go back on the auger. And just to show a little bit more why I packed all the bearings is because the oil level is like right here. So your oil is never going to make it up to this bearing. There's a bearing riding right there. And there's a bearing riding right there. Those two bearings are never going to get oil touching them. And there's a bearing on the inside right here that probably won't get a whole lot of oil either. So having those packed, I feel a lot better about it. So that's just what I'm pointing out to you guys. Now if you can tell, it is dark out. The auger's sitting here. It's lit up. I'll probably work on that in a little bit, but I don't hear a combine running anymore. So I'm gonna hop in the truck and head out there, and he's probably done or close to done. Because it's been about an hour, so I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hey guys, sorry I had to pass some time this morning. I came back here to a dead camera this morning and I did not have the right cord to charge it. So now we are starting. You can see the auger's gone. Got the stick, I got the straight truck unloaded. Got the semi cleaned out. The dryer is running now and it's gonna be running for a while. But with that, guys, I'm gonna see you in the next video. We'll start wrenching on some stuff. Trying to decide what we want to do with these two articulates here. One needs transmission, one needs an engine. We're talking about maybe just putting them together and making one good tractor. And I don't know, or fixing both of them. Funds are going to be tight, so we don't have a lot of money to throw around it, stuff like that. So we got to decide what we are going to do, what we aren't going to do, and start doing what we want to do. So anyway, I'll see you next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.